Should we jump into our next story?
Yes.
So this taxi driver is giving lifts and he's also giving life advice. I love this story. I love it so much. So we got a DM from this lady and it's a video of a taxi driver who was giving her sound life advice. He was giving tips and tricks to a happy life. So that video came in through a DM. We put it on our page and following that, we realized that so many people have gotten the same or similar life advice from this taxi driver. It's just amazing.
So the driver has been making the world a better place, one passenger at a time, and has been serving gentle reminders to passengers to be grateful for their lives for quite a while now.
So I want to go through, first of all, his life advice. He said, it's amazing. If you want to go straight, go straight. If you want to go right, go right. Everything in life is possible. Say good health, good happiness, good family, good happy nights. Happiness means you're a rich person. So not the money. Happiness means you're a rich person. Don't get confused by what you want. If you want, do. Don't disturb your mind. It's your life. If you want, do good for your life. So fight for one life, a short life, a beautiful life.
Wow. That's a long piece of advice, but very sound.
You kind of have to go through it one by one because he's saying it in the video that we have. He's saying it and she's repeating him and she repeats some words and she kind of fumbles a little bit in what she said and he's like, no. Like he picks her up on it and he really means specifically what he is saying. One life, short life, it's a beautiful life.
I love that. That's very sweet. If I had a cab driver who was giving me that advice, I'd just be like, yes.
Have you ever had a cab driver who's given you great advice?
No, never actually. I know you have.
More than once.
And then
many times actually.
Yeah, and then so Anika wrote the article and she was just like putting screenshots of our comment section on Instagram and a lot of people have claimed that they've had this driver who's given like so one person she replied, he drove us home one night and gave the same memorable speech which was so heartwarming. Someone else replied, OMG, same driver gave me the speech. So a lot of people have had this driver who's just been dishing out this sound advice and like changing lives in like the most minuscule of all ways.
Well, it's interesting. I've been in it. I can remember too, but I feel like there's been more when I've had long conversations with taxi drivers and they're telling me about life and what happiness really is and it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective sometimes in terms of they're working 6 to 7 days a week, long hours. Many of them are like I've seen the family homes that they have built in their home country. They're providing for their families. They're going through a very hard working life, but they're doing it with a cause and a purpose.
Exactly.
And it really gives you perspective into what your life is about. And I love, but honestly, it's happened to me once or twice, and I always thought that it was just for me. I thought that they were like, because at least there's been 2 minimum that they were thinking about me and my life, but I'm not special, I guess. But no, I think it's amazing that they're giving out this advice, or this particular taxi driver is, making giving a lot of people perspective on what is a happy life.
Yeah, I mean, Casey, it's I feel like maybe you didn't have this driver. Maybe the drivers you did have were giving you advice specifically, seeing like the damage. Or whenever they noticed that they gave the advice. How did the conversation even come about for them to give advice?
I have no idea. You just start chatting and...
That's so cute. I just fall asleep in all my cab rides. So even if I've ever had this captain, he's like just not been able to interact with me because I'm like dead in the back seat.
I have no doubt that you do that. Because I speak to Bilal as one of the team here, and whenever if we have like a takeover shoot, he'll always drive us. And every now and then, like we're chatting, and he's like, "Simran, she just sleeps." And I'm like, "How do you sleep during the day?"
I can't help it. I just like fall asleep in a car. That's why I always prefer sitting in the back seat. The passenger seat is not.
How long does it take? Like, how long does a journey need to be before you fall asleep?
No, it can be a 2-minute journey. I'll be asleep. Like, it's just me sitting in a car, and I automatically my senses just shut down.
Wow.
Unless I'm driving, which is very different.
Good. But so taxis, if you're in a car with friends, same thing?
Same thing. Like, it takes a lot to keep me awake in a car ride, like a lot. Like, I really have to just like force myself to stay awake with friends. Otherwise, if I don't need to, I won't. But
That's amazing. That's a skill. Like, you should put that on your CV. I can sleep in a car at any time in any place.
not just in a car, but yeah.
Oh, it doesn't need to be a car. You can sleep if turn off the lights. We weren't live. We weren't working. There was a nice little chair here. You could just sleep.
I could just sleep. But yeah, that's why I've missed out on all these like life-changing advice. But lucky you, 2 captains, 2 life-changing. Do you still remember what they told you?
I remember where I was when they were giving the life advice in different places on different roads. I remember multiple times I've seen the homes that they've created, which is pretty cool. And yeah, like there's always been like relationship advice thrown in there. And then I always talk about my mom. And then they're always like, you are so blessed because my mom lives here. And they're like, you're so blessed to have your mom living here. And you know, that's like the most amazing thing. And family's the most important thing. And
really just giving that perspective.
Yeah.
Guys,
Anyway.
So a big